People, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and your daily Chelsea news update. And here we are, deadline day, window closing 11 p.m. What's that? 7 hours time? Less than 7 hours, about six, just under 7 hours, people. Window will be closed. And Chelsea are closing in on a deal to sign Jadon Sancho from Manchester United. That is getting close. The expectation is that Chelsea will sign Jadon Sancho and will reach an agreement with Man United for the winger. In terms of what else is happening, we're still waiting for an answer from Victor Osimhen. Despite all the news surrounding Osimhen today, it's all very much been exactly the same stuff, recycling the same news over and over again. We are waiting for a decision from Osimhen. Chelsea are still in conversations over a salary. We haven't put an improved offer on the table yet. We're waiting. We're still waiting. Everyone's waiting. Ivan Toney's having his Al Ali medical in London. The first part of his medical in London is taking place now, or it might well be completed at this point. We're waiting for an answer from Osimhen. You know, apparently, as of this morning, about 8 o'clock this morning, Al Ali had a total agreement in place with Napoli for Osimhen. All fee was agreed, terms were also agreed, and he'd accepted the terms, and they were just waiting for a final answer from Osimhen. Maybe they've got their final answer from Osimhen, which is why they're now prioritising a move for Ivan Toney and getting that deal done. I don't know what it is. Then we got Fabrice Hawkins, the guy who broke Pedro Neto to Chelsea, suggesting that, you know, maybe if Al Ali sign Toney and Chelsea don't improve their offer, then Osimhen could end up staying at Napoli. So, yeah, we're in a crazy, crazy situation. No signs of getting rid of Ben Chilwell yet either. No signs of getting rid of Raheem Sterling. There were talks of a move to Arsenal potentially, although that's now been described as complicated and potentially unlikely to happen. So, no, Chilwell's going to end up staying probably. Sterling's likely to end up staying. Chalobah is probably likely to end up staying as well. Not to mention, I don't know what's happening with Amanda Broja. The move to Ipswich now is reportedly back on. There's also interest from Leicester. Chukwuemeka has been linked with a loan move to West Ham, although that in itself has been described as a difficult deal to do also. So, yeah, it's all kind of crazy. There's a lot going on without very much going on, if that makes sense. Obviously, the big news is the Jadon Sancho situation, which is expected to be completed. And we still wait. We wait and we wait for Victor Osimhen and his answer. Now, people are saying Al Ali can't sign both Toney and Osimhen. They can, I believe. You know, there are ways around that foreign quota. Plus, the Saudi window is open until Monday anyway, so they could just sell one of their international players that's taken up a spot in the quota. So, yeah. That's where we're at with things right now. But anyway, we're going to add a bit more meat to the bones on this Jadon Sancho situation first. But guys, big up to everyone that is locked in already. People, keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Let's run this up. Should be over 100 likes easy. So let's run it up. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat, and then we will get this show on the road. What are you lot saying in the chat? Getting bored of the Osimhen saga? Bro, I'm bored of it as well, but at least in less than 7 hours, we'll know one way or another. There will be a decision, and we won't have to discuss Victor Osimhen, whether he's going to join Chelsea or not. Last window stream, or no, we're going in the season. We go in the season. We go all year. More drama. Yeah, it is drama. So, yeah, saga is ending tonight. Whatever the case may be, please sign Sancho to further increase depth. Look, I get that. I don't know if we need more depth. Like, you know, how many players do we need? All these attackers, we need defenders. Brother, I hear you. Again, I'm confused. You have been panicking. No, I'm not. Well, yeah, I've been panicking a little bit actually, because we've had all summer to get a striker in, and we're 6 hours 50 minutes from the window closing, and we still don't have an answer on whether we're going to get one. So I'm looking at it and thinking, right, if Osimhen does bin us, then Toney looks like it's going to Al Ali anyway. So then what are our other alternative options? That would be my only concern. But hopefully it all works out all right in the end. Could you imagine after all this, he just ends up staying. Could you imagine? It'd be crazy. Do we need Sancho? I wouldn't say we need him, no, but it's another option. He's a good footballer. Let's wait and see what happens. Yes, big up, brother. They can loan Firmino and get it done. Yeah, they absolutely can. You know, that there are options around it. If they genuinely want both, then they can do both. I mean, from an Al Ahly perspective, I think they've played it well. They've agreed a deal for Tony. They've agreed a deal for Osimhen. They're getting all the Tony medical and stuff done so that if Osimhen does change his mind last minute, then the Ivan Tony deal is there and it's ready to be done and it is ready to go. That's what we're looking at. Mudryk joining the Maresca, I don't see them club. I don't know. Yes, big up, brother. Osimhen is just waiting for a pay rise from us. Well, he's not going to get one. He's not going to get one because if Chelsea were going to offer him a pay rise, they would have offered it by now. Why would you wait for less than 7 hours left in the window to do that? I mean, is it just a big game of poker we're playing here? And Osimhen's just going to eventually, when it gets to like a couple of hours left in the window, think, shit, I'm going to have to just accept this lower offer. Otherwise, otherwise I'm stuck. Or do I take the Saudi bag? Or do I stay in Napoli for 6 months and revisit the whole situation in January? It's a really interesting one. So Neto, Mudryk on the left, Sancho and Madueke on the right. Yeah, but where does Palmer play? What about Felix? What, are you going to have Felix, Palmer, and Nkunku as 3 options to play in the 10? Come on, it's too much. Sancho's not terrible. It's not worked out from Man United, but there's a very talented footballer in there. He's a player that I really like. But as I've said, you know, it's not really necessary. It's not necessary. So yeah. But anyway, guys, let's dive into it then. Obviously, the latest from David Ornstein on Victor Osimhen is that let's start with the Osimhen and then we'll go into the Sancho to Sterling. Chelsea are awaiting the green light from Victor Osimhen before advancing talks with Napoli over a deal. Chelsea hope the 25-year-old top target all window, and he's keen to join, will agree to fit team and incentive-based wage structure. PSG not in the race. Al Ahly's focus is Tony. So from what Ornstein's saying there is that what it sounds like right now is it's either stay at Napoli or it's Chelsea. It doesn't seem like Al Ahly is still on the table, although it says their focus is on Tony. So maybe the fact that, you know, Al Ahly have done all they can with Osimhen and they're just going to wait for an answer from him. And now they're just focusing on getting the Ivan Tony deal done as well, whilst they wait for Osimhen to make a decision. Or are they going or are they finalising the Tony stuff because they know that Osimhen is not going to take that move and he's either going to come to Chelsea or he's going to stay at Napoli? It's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. I'm confused at what's going on here. I mean, let's see what Ornstein is saying in this article. I wouldn't say it was ruining his career. You know, at the end of the day, it's generational wealth on the table, and it's very difficult to say no to that. Yes, I would have liked him to have stayed in the Premier League. Of course, I would have liked that. Yeah, it would have been good to see. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a short career. He seemingly hasn't really got any other options. If he goes to Saudi and secures the bag, fair enough. Yeah, Sancho's being discussed alone with an obligation. I'm getting fed up with the saga. Yes. Napoli can only buy one. We want Tony. Sancho's a big troublemaker. I wouldn't say Sancho's a big troublemaker. No. Sancho signing means... No, I don't think it does mean that. I don't really know what the Sancho thing means. We're going to get onto Sancho shortly. Let's get into this Osimhen stuff. And we're still waiting. We are still waiting. Obviously, this would be a permanent deal. No idea what the price would be. No idea what the what was I saying? No idea what the asking price is. I don't know what the main price for Osimhen would be. Don't know what the wages would be. But we're waiting for the answer. But I think it's pretty clear, guys. I think it's pretty clear that we are not getting. We're obviously not going to get. I don't think we're going to get Ivan Tony. So I'm honestly, I'm at the point now, guys, at this late stage in the window where we are. I honestly think it is going to be either Osimhen comes or he doesn't. He comes or he doesn't. I mean, sorry, he comes or he doesn't come, and no one comes. So for me, in terms of centre forwards, I reckon it's now Osimhen or no one. Victor either accepts our terms and fits in with the wage structure, and as all the reports say, Chelsea aren't changing their offer. Osimhen not prepared to take a wage drop. So, brother, you either rot in Napoli, you go to Saudi, or you come to the Chelsea. Those are your options. But I don't know what he's waiting for, because if he's waiting for a late increased offer from Chelsea, it's not coming. It's not coming. But let's see what this article says. Chelsea are waiting a green light from Victor Osimhen over a move to Stamford Bridge before advancing in talks with Napoli about signing him ahead of the transfer window closing. Osimhen's keen to join Chelsea. I hate reading that Osimhen's keen to join Chelsea, right? Because if you were keen to join, brother, and you wanted to join, you would have fitted in with the incentivized wage structure, and you would be with us right now. You're obviously not that keen to join. You're keen to join if you get the money that you want. That's what it should say. Osimhen keen to join Chelsea if he gets the money that he wants. Not that he's keen to join. He's keen to join under one circumstance. One circumstance is he under one circumstance is he keen to join. That's what it should really be saying. If his representatives make clear their client's willingness to proceed on this basis, so yeah. So all the reports are saying it has to agree to fit into the team and incentive-based wage structure. If his reps make clear their client's willingness to proceed on this basis, the West London side are expected to push for a deal. Osimhen has been considered by Saudi Pro League side Al Ahly, but they are working to recruit Ivan Toney and cannot acquire both. Although he was among the leading candidates for PSG when it was confirmed earlier this summer that Mbappe was going to Real Madrid, they're not pursuing the situation. Unless any other suitors unexpectedly appear at the last minute, it leaves a switch to Chelsea or staying with Napoli as the only possibilities. Could you imagine, right, imagine after all this, right, that Osimhen ends up staying at Napoli. Imagine going through all these negotiations, all these meetings with Al Ahly, with Chelsea and whatnot. Imagine after all this brother just ends up staying at Napoli after all that. But those are the two options on the table, people. Those are the two options on the table. Osimhen fits in with the incentivized wage structure at Chelsea, or he doesn't, or he doesn't. That's as simple as that. As simple as that. That's what we're here for, people. Fit in with the wage structure, or you're staying at Napoli, bro. Unless you're holding out for someone last minute to come in, which with every second that passes by is looking less and less likely, But maybe that's what he's doing, waiting for someone to come in last minute, or he's hoping that Chelsea will increase their offer last minute, and it's all fine. Knowing Chelsea, we end up with Rashford. No, brother, we're not going to get Rashford. Because Chelsea style of play will concede lots of goals with average goalkeepers and centre backs. We're going to need to score a lot more goals. Yeah. If I'm Osimhen, I will go Saudi. Well, look, I don't think the Saudi offer's there anymore. If Osimhen stays at Napoli, he'll not be played. Oh, well, he might work his way back in. It's all about the money and not the. Yeah, it's all about the money. It is. Unless, Charlie, there is someone else that has come in late. Bro, I can't see it. I can't see someone coming in this late with 6 hours 45 minutes left in the window. That would be we're talking late if that was to happen. We're not getting a centre back, brother, but I agree. Osimhen refused Saudis. He still wants to compete in Europe. He's still young and can wait 4 years before going to Saudi. Yeah, he can, but at the moment it's Napoli or Chelsea. If he stays at Napoli or not play, they have a backup for Lukaku. If Osimhen ends up staying at Napoli, then they're going to have to work it back. They're going to have to get him back into the fold. They can't just have Osimhen training on his own, for 6 months until January whilst paying him an absolute fortune. If Victor says no, he goes to Saudi and we get Toney. Bro, I don't think we've got time to get Toney. Toney's doing his Al Ahly medical as we speak. we are the masters of the hijack. And we have done a lot of hijacking in the past, but it's mad. Like this would be, real late, real late in proceedings. It'd be a crazy one. It would be a real crazy one, guys. 253 in the building. Big up to every single person that is locked in. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you are new round here as well, guys. It's free and it takes seconds to do. Let's get these subscribers up. Let's see if we can get to as close to 11.7 as we possibly can. So please smash that like button. Please subscribe as well. 15 likes away from the 100 likes mark, and keep subscribing as well, people. Don't forget, PSG already has terms agreed. Yeah, they do, but I don't think they're going in. I don't think PSG are going in for him. They wouldn't be leaving things this late. If Al Ahly are focusing on Tony, what that tells us is they're not. They're for me personally, that can tell you two things. Either they know that Osimhen said no, or they're getting the Tony deal all done and dusted, so that if Osimhen does say no, then Tony is ready to sign straight away. But those are the two options there. I think Osimhen's agent is playing a poker, waiting for any club to come in. Maybe. Do you feel we'll consider other striker options? Bro, we're not going to look. As far as I'm concerned, if we don't get an answer from Osimhen, then we're done. You know, I don't see a striker coming in. I don't see a striker coming in. Anything on Sterling? There was talks of a move to Arsenal, but that's now been described as difficult to do. And I think, in all likelihood, Sterling probably is going to end up. In all likelihood, Sterling's going to end up staying. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah, bro, he could well be. He could well be. And Tony will look like an absolute mug if Al Ahly go for Osimhen instead and just bin him off. There could still be time to sign Ivan Tony, but it's looking very, very unlikely. Very unlikely. No, I'm not. No, not streaming for the next 7 hours. No. I've got things to do tonight. If there's any major breaking news, then because I'm working tonight, if there's any major breaking news, I will do a quick upload on it. I won't be able to go live, so this will be my kind of main stream of today. But yeah, was there another Ornstein tweet? Surely not. If it's a Sancho thing, I'm going to get onto that in a sec. But I don't think it is. I don't think there is a new Ornstein tweet. No, doesn't look like there is at all. No, there's not. No, there's not. So yeah, that's where we're at. They were reporting a report from Sky in Italy saying that it was done, and there was an agreement completely in place between clubs, and Osimhen had agreed to the terms. He's just not given the answer yet. So yeah. No, I've seen the Ornstein thing. It's the same. It's the same thing. There's no new Ornstein tweet. Negotiations between Chelsea and Man United over deadline day transfer of Sancho, sent on initial loan with obligation to buy next summer. Currently discussing the obligation figure. Well, we'll get to this. We'll get to all this in a sec. That Chelsea delegation should stay in Italy and get fired if they don't sign Osimhen. Yeah, I absolutely hear you on that. I absolutely hear you on that. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? A real strange one. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'd love to know what's still being discussed, because let's make no mistake about it, right? Yes, I know it might be. It should be relatively straightforward to kind of agree a fee with Napoli and whatnot and agree a deal. But at the same time, guys, we are still waiting to enter into talks with Napoli to sort of agree talks with Napoli, sorry. And the clock's ticking. The clock is ticking. No, I'm unmuted now. I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted. Is audio good, people? Let me know. Is the audio good? Let me just mute myself. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Good, good, good. So yeah, that's the latest on Osimhen, guys. Is that this brother is so indecisive, and we're just going to have to hold tight. We're just going to have to hold tight and wait to see what he decides to do. We've got to hold tight, people. We have got to hold tight. And yeah, we wait and see what he does. We wait and see what he does. But that is the latest on Osimhen. What about outgoing players? What is the status of players in nothing on Carney, nothing on Cassidy, Sterling? There was Arsenal, but I don't think it's going to happen. Disassi, nothing. Badiashile, nothing. Nothing for Chilwell. Datcher for Fana, there was loose talks of Everton, maybe. Chalobah was attracting some interest from clubs, but there's been no movement surrounding him. So out of all those players there, bro, I actually think all of them are going to end up staying. But like my thing with him wanting to come to Chelsea is if he wanted to come so badly, he just fit in with the incentivized wage structure. At this point, what is he waiting for? Because a late offer from Chelsea of wages, what he would find acceptable, is not coming. That's not coming. So what is he waiting for? You know, what is he waiting for? You know, Chelsea is trying to find a way of making the deal work. We've been trying to find a way to make the deal work, it feels like, for the last week. So what's suddenly going to change in the last few hours? We're not going to suddenly, change our, cave into his demands, having sat tight the whole time. Or is Osimhen going to just accept that, you know what, overstay at Napoli, or I'm going to end up in Saudi or whatever? Then, you know, it's Chelsea or Napoli, it seems, right now. So if he's so keen to come, like all the reports say, bro, just fit in with the wage structure and back yourself to perform. That's all I can say. That's all I can say on it. Yeah, look, I could be wrong on this, but if he ends up coming, obviously, it will be a good signing. Of course, it will be. I agree, though. I don't get the best of vibes from him and his agent. I don't get good vibes from him and his agent, but you know, we could be wrong on that. We could be wrong on that one, but yeah, I don't get the best vibes from them. They smell like trouble. Osimhen comes to the club, we get a top 4 finish. It's that simple. No, there was some loose conversations about that, but I don't think that's true. They must still be talking and ironing out the details. Our owners, with all their flaws, tend to get these deals done. Yeah, look, I do agree with that. When we jet into these sort of things, we do tend to leave with what we want. But at the same time, the longer it goes on, you sort of think the less likely it is to happen. But then also, every second that ticks by, you're also thinking, well, he hasn't said no yet, seemingly. He's not said no yet. So you're kind of in two minds here. Every second that goes by, you're sort of thinking, he's still not decided. But then on the flip side, he still hasn't said no. So that's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. But what we're gonna move on to, guys, Osimhen would be a permanent, whether it's a loan with an obligation or whether it's a straight out permanent, then yeah. But Osimhen will be a permanent, whether it's loan with obligation or whether it's a straight purchase. But let's move on to from a deal that is in the balance to a deal which looks like it's going to get done. And it very much looks like Jadon Sancho will be swapping Old Trafford for Stamford Bridge, which I don't think anyone had on their transfer window bingo card at the start of the summer. I don't think if you asked a single Chelsea fan, name one player that you think do you think Jadon Sancho is going to come to Chelsea this summer at the end of last season? I would say I don't think you'd get anyone saying yes, they will. But here we are. Negotiations between Chelsea and Man United over deadline day transfer of Jadon Sancho centre on initial loan with obligation to buy next summer. Would provide permanent solution for the 24-year-old sort. United and Chelsea discussing the obligation figure. Now, there had been a figure mooted of around £25 million. I don't know how true that is. That does seem very low, and that would be exceptional value for money. Absolutely exceptional value for money if that were to be the case. But I can't see United agreeing to a £25 million obligation. Obviously, it seems like Sancho would be prepared to fit in with the wage structure. Take notes, Victor. Take notes, Victor. No, anything. It'll be a loan with an obligation. That's the whole point. United want a permanent sale. So, loan with an obligation. There would be no sending back. I agree. Sancho. The only way Sancho makes sense is if Sterling leaves, but then you've got to think that someone else needs to leave, because then if Sterling goes and Sancho comes in, right, you still got Sancho, Mudryk, Neto, Joao Felix, Cole Palmer, Madueke. You've got Nkunku, Felix, Palmer, Neto, Madueke, Mudryk, Sancho would be like, you've got 7-8 options there. I don't get it. I don't get it. We're using Tony as leverage to force Victor into our hands. I don't think we're using Tony for any leverage for anything. No, what I'm saying is, though, he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going anywhere, is he? Until the earliest next summer. So, bringing another attacking player in to an already congested area, in my opinion, doesn't make very much sense at all. The only sense it makes is if Sterling goes, but that's looking very, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. So I'm just really unsure, really unsure on where this is going to go right now. But I think what we are going to see is obviously the Jadon Sancho move to Chelsea definitely taking place. It very much sounds like that deal is on the cards. It's advancing to a conclusion soon. And I'll be honest, people, I would expect us to see Jadon Sancho at Stamford Bridge, maybe paraded to the fans on Sunday. That's how confident I am of this deal happening. I think there's every chance this deal happens. The indications are it is going to happen. It sounds like the only thing to sort out is how much the obligation price is going to be. I think Chelsea could be doing that. I think they could well be doing that. But let's see what the article is saying, though. Chelsea are expected to reach a full agreement with Man United to sign Jadon Sancho before the transfer window closes. The 24-year-old former Borussia Dortmund forward is keen on a proposed move to Stamford Bridge. He returned to United first-team training earlier this summer for the first time since September 2023, after he refused to apologise to Erik ten Hag. He has, however, been left out the squad for both of United's opening games of the Premier League season, which ten Hag explained was due to an ear infection prior to the win over Fulham, as well as the difficulties of finding place for everyone in the squad. So that's basically it. Chelsea are expected to reach an agreement, loan with an obligation, and that's where we're at, people. That is where we're at. Initial loan with obligation to buy. I don't think that's a particularly bad deal. Discussing the obligation figure, if it's around 25-30 million pounds, as much as we don't need him, you can't knock that price. You just can't. It's very difficult to knock that sort of price for a player of Sancho's quality. Yes, it's not worked out for him at Arsenal yet. At Man United. Yeah, it's been difficult for him. And look, he's a very good player. You would just have to question why Chelsea are moving for him. You'd have to question why Chelsea are moving for him. But maybe look, I don't understand Obviously, Man United don't want Sterling. Maybe that's part of the situation here as well. Maybe they don't want Sterling because it would. I could have got my head around it if if Sterling was going in the opposite direction, even though it still wouldn't have made too much sense. It would have made more sense than obviously still keeping hold of Sterling probably and then bringing Sancho in. I know he's not going to I know he's not going to obviously like play regularly or whatever, but I would just question why he's coming here. That's all. Sancho could do really well for us. He absolutely could. I'm not disputing that in any way. But at the same time, I just look at it and I'd have to. Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's about Tony. I would look at it and I'd just have to question really what the plan is here with Sancho. Where do we see him playing? Do we see him competing with Madueke on the right hand side, and you have Sancho and Madueke on the right? In which case, okay, fine. Where do you play Cole Palmer? Do you then have Cole Palmer, Joao Felix, and Christopher Nkunku as central options? Then on the left, you've got Neto and Mudryk. Like, where do you fit in? You almost feel like with Sancho coming in, someone else needs to leave. And then you've got obviously Estevao and Paez coming next summer. So you look at it and you just sort of think, well, okay, I get it. He might want to come to Chelsea, maybe an exciting project from his point of view. He's a London boy, and all that stuff. So I understand that, but I would just understand from his point of view how often he thinks he's going to play, and whether he really thinks that's going to be the right idea. Whether he's going to play as often as he perhaps thinks he is. I wonder what Chelsea are telling him, in conversations about his playing time, about what the club's plans are for him. It's interesting. It's very interesting, but. I wouldn't moan about it too much. Sancho's miles better than Sterling. Maybe. I don't know, but yeah, Sancho is definitely better than Sterling. But obviously we're trying to we're obviously trying to find a solution for Sterling. I don't know if we're going to find one or not. Look, I'd absolutely, I'd take Jadon Sancho, but the question is, how often is he going to play? How's he going to fit in? And how much is he going to cost as well? Obviously, the wages are going to, he's obviously going to agree to fit into the structure. That's a positive, absolutely. But again, you've got so many different options, but you almost feel like there's too many players, really, even with rotations and whatnot. I agree, it doesn't make sense unless we send one of Chilwell or Sterling over, but Sancho can play across the whole front line, plus his good depth. Yeah, sure, good. I agree. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, he fell out with Ten Hag, but at Dortmund he's been fine. So I wouldn't worry about his attitude. No. He could end up benching Neto, maybe, of course, but we don't really know what sort of opportunities and how many chances he's going to get. But it would be a good deal. And if we were able to get a loan with an obligation for around 25 to 30 million pounds, then I would absolutely take that. I would absolutely take it. And we would have had United's pants down. They would have spent 60 million pounds on Mason Mount, and we would have bent them over on that transfer. And we could be getting Jadon Sancho for around 25 or 30 million, loan with an obligation. Depth wins you games in this league. Have been starved of this. Well, no, but I think against Wolves, we had Felix, Neto, and Nkunku all on the bench. Guys, keep smashing that like button, by the way. We're 238 people in the building. We're only on 135 likes. Let's get this up to the 200 likes mark, guys. So keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. And please keep subscribing to the channel as well if you are new around here. Love to hit 11,650. That's 19 more subscribers. It's a big ask, but it's deadline day. Anything is possible. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel if you are new around here, and keep running those likes up, people. Let's get it to 200 likes. That should be light work, guys. Sancho is baller, doesn't suit our style. I wouldn't say it doesn't suit your style. It's just never really been given a proper chance. You know, your wingers are dead food. You've got like, and Garnacho's all right. Anthony's dog shit. Rashford's awful. And who else is there? I forget. Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford. Who's the other one? I don't know who the other one is. It would have been Sancho. There isn't anyone. Sterling has won the Premier League titles. Yeah, sure. Sterling's won Premier League titles. Yeah, fine. But, you know, Sterling is not a good footballer right now. Not a good player. Strasbourg, Petrovic on loan. That was confirmed yesterday. Maybe Osimhen is done. Fab's just messing around. Maybe it is. Maybe it's all done and they're waiting for a certain time to announce it. You know, there's every possibility that could be the case. Every possibility that could be the case. You just don't know. No, Sterling is absolutely not confirmed to Arsenal. That's a deal that's described as very, very difficult to do and is unlikely to happen. So we can hope, but it's very, very, very unlikely. Very unlikely. So I wouldn't get too caught up about that. What else is being said here? Oh, it's Amad Diallo's the other one. Yeah. Yeah. Look, Sancho. Look, I would take it, but it's not. It's one of them for me that's absolutely not necessary. Not necessary whatsoever. But do you know what? It is what it is, people. It is what it is. This is where we're at, and we hope for the best on it. We hope for the best on it. That's all we can do, people. That is all we can do. But Sancho to Chelsea, that looks like it could be getting a little bit closer. No, we don't sign players from United often. Can certain deals or situation be granted an extension? Yes, they can, providing you can prove the agreement's been reached before the deadline or something. You can apply for an extension, but there has to be like proof that an agreement's been made or something like that. Yeah, there's got to be proof that an agreement's been made before you can apply for a headline, for an extension. Sorry, something like that. Would have liked to centre back today. I agree. United's transfer policy has been awful. Yeah, it's been shocking. Yes, yeah, big up, brother. Yep, he is. Well, bro, we need to get top four regardless. But yeah, with Osimhen, that then really ramps up the scenario where we must get top four if we must. Simple. Looking forward to Sunday. I'm going to the bridge. Yes, brother, I will be there as well. Looking forward to it. Maybe we have Jadon Sancho at the bridge, and maybe we have Victor Osimhen at the bridge as well. Incoming Sancho makes sense. Yeah, I agree. Sancho will be licking his lips. There's a lot of positives for him. Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a good move from a Chelsea perspective, and it's a great move for Jadon Sancho. The only losers in this situation are Man United, because they're taking a huge hit on a player they put a big investment into, and he's going to be in the Premier League with Chelsea. So every time he does well, they're just going to be reminded about it. They're just going to be reminded about it as well. Sancho to Chelsea it's getting close, guys. So I imagine everything should go to plan. Everything's pointing in the direction that this will happen. And Jadon Sancho will probably be on his way to Stamford Bridge. And I reckon we could well see him in the crowd, presented to the players presented to the fans at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. If we can get Osimhen and Sancho on deadline day, that's a ridiculous deadline day and a very, very good window. If we end up with Osimhen, Sancho, Neto, and Felix as four big signings, guys, then we can't complain. We can't complain if we end up with those four. We cannot complain. It's as simple as that. We can't complain, and there can be zero excuses to not finish in the top four if we've made those four attacking signings. It would be an absolute joke not to finish in the top four with those attacking additions. But no one can say we're not showing ambition. No one can say we're not smashing it. They haven't. Mazrahi and De Ligt is might find some form maybe. Euro's an unproven teenager. Mazrahi is okay, and Xerxes scored 11 goals for Bologna last season and doesn't start for the Dutch national team. They're not all ballers. They've done some all right business. Like that's it. Why do we even need Sancho? Well, we don't really need him, but obviously, there must be some reasoning behind it. There must be some thinking behind it. So that's where we are. There must be some sort of thought process behind it as to why we're going for Sancho. There's obviously something. There's obviously something, but yeah, we're waiting for that agreement to be reached. Obviously, I think it's centering on what the obligation figure would be. We'll have to bank on our attack this season. We're going to have to bank on our attack this season to bail us out. Yeah, we're going to have to do. It's going to be a serious bailout because at the moment we're averaging, 2 goals a game being conceded. So 2 against Wolves, 2 against Servette, 2 against Man City. I don't know what that is. I've already seen if it's Sancho related. Well, brother, he's coming, and we will be there. Jadon Sancho, Stamford Bridge on Sunday. I'll be there. I'll have my phone out recording it. And yeah, it'll be good times, and it'll be a big buzz around the ground for Jadon Sancho. The buzz around the ground, if we got Osimhen, would be electric. Jackson would learn a lot from him too. Yeah, he absolutely would. Osimhen and Sancho would be a madness. There's absolutely no denying that, no escaping from it. Osimhen and Sancho would be a joke, people. It would be an absolute joke. I don't even know what to say. It would be amazing. It would be amazing. No doubt about it. But let's not get too carried away yet. We've still got a little bit of time to go. We're coming up to 6 hours left in the transfer window, and we're still waiting for Victor Osimhen's answer. But yeah. Nah, brother, he shouldn't go to Juventus. He shouldn't. No news on that. No news on that at all. It looks like Guiu could stay. Could well stay. I'm not really sure if that's the right decision if a centre forward comes in. We should do. Yeah, about Ivan Toney I have. Brother, big up. Yes, I'm all good, bro. Please subscribe and such like. Sancho's probably because I'm Madueke. Maybe. Look, again, options, amount of games we've got, suspensions, injuries. Maybe Chelsea just are taking, a bit like sort of just being overly stacked just in case. I guess it's better to have more than it is to have not enough, maybe. Maybe that's kind of how they're looking at it and the way they're looking at it. So I don't know. Yeah, the attack is scary. The attack is scary for sure. The only fun we get from Chelsea these days is the transfer window. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Nico will definitely take this Osimhen signing the wrong way. No, of course he won't. You know, at a top football club, there's going to be top players, and there's going to be competition for places, and that should spur you on to do even better. Spur him on. No, it's not about Conte not wanting Osimhen. No, that isn't the case at all. Osimhen's made it very clear that he wanted to leave Napoli long before Conte came. That's why he signs the new contract extension there, because there was a release clause put in so that he could leave. Obviously, they're not going to get the release clause. So, yeah, but no, it's not about Conte not wanting him. It's not about Conte not wanting him at all. It never even got to that point. So yeah, we're still continuing in talks with Sancho. It'll turn into an obligation if certain conditions are met. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be too far. I don't think we're going to be too far away on that one. I don't think we're going to be too far away from that at all. I don't think we're going to be far away from getting a Sancho. Here we go. I would expect that in the next few hours, personally. So yeah, that's where we're at. In terms of outgoings, though, guys, the situation is very, very different. Lavia is going to be back after the international break. Couple of beers I need. This is stressing me out big time. I hear you. Need a DM and a goalkeeper and at least one other high quality defender. Well, brother, we're not getting those. We need 4 wingers because the other options are Mudryk, Neto, and Noni. You don't want Felix, Palmer, and Nkunku playing wings too much. Yeah, but you also don't want 3 players competing for one spot in the side for that position off the striker, which is what Felix, Palmer, and Nkunku would be doing. So, you know, you leave yourself a lot of options. It is obviously very, very congested in there, and you've just got to see what happens. You're just going to see what happens. You're just going to have to hope for the best. But for me, it just seems like it's one option too many. It just seems like it's one option too many. But if it's, you know, succession planning or whatever, then fair enough. If you know that someone's going to be moving on next summer and you're getting someone in early beforehand, then yeah, okay, fair enough. But we're going to have to wait and see. No, yeah, he absolutely won't. You know, a top striker coming in is going to make all the difference for Nicholas Jackson. All the difference, in my opinion. Guys, keep smashing that like button. We're on 162. Let's get this up to 200 likes. Come on, people. We're almost there now. Not far away. 225 of you still in the building. So please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new around here as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, guys, there's no excuses not to be pushing on to that 200 likes now. Should be light work. So please let me know when we're at 200 likes. But yeah, please hit that thumbs up button. It's free. It takes seconds and it helps boost the content in the algorithm and gets more eyes on the channel, which is what we all want. So yeah, the more likes something is, the better it's going to do. So let's run it up. Mats Hummel's late bid incoming. Well, he's a free agent, so we don't even need a late bid. If we're able to get rid of Disasi and Badiashile, we've won the transfer window. Bro, with 6 hours to go, that's not happening. If we get Sancho, I think Mudryk's time is up at Chelsea, but how do you move such a high-profile signing? I don't know. I wouldn't say it was up, but it certainly wouldn't be looking. It wouldn't be looking that great, would it? If we're being honest, guys, it wouldn't be looking particularly great. What are we going to do with Chilwell, Sterling, and Trev if we can't get them out this window? Well, they're going to stay at the club, and I presume they'll be training with the 21s, or they will maybe be reintegrated. Although it's been made clear that's not going to be the case, but I'm not sure what you can do with those lot when it's $500,000, when it's 500k a week's worth of wages on Sterling and Chilwell just being paid to train with the 21s. I can't see that. I just think that's totally untrue. The guy scored 14 Premier League goals in his first season. He's raw. He missed a lot of chances. If he brushes up on his finishing, there's a 20 goals a season player in there. You know, he was a 20 goals a season player last season. He just obviously missed a number of chances. So he brushed up on those opportunities. He's young. He's 23. And he's a good player, good all-round play. And he could absolutely benefit from someone better coming in for him to learn from. So yeah, there we go. You know, I don't get the hate about Jackson. He's very good. Oh no, is this what's happened here? This is a French journalist. Just now. I don't know how true this is. Guys, but this is from a French journalist in L'Equipe. Loic Tanzi. Victor Osimhen, who's transferred to Chelsea, is very difficult. Has been very angry with Napoli in the last few minutes. in recent minutes. The striker thinks he will not leave for London, his preference. All parties on the ground are trying to find a last-ditch solution. So according to L'Equipe journalist Loic Tanzi, Osimhen is not happy with Napoli and he thinks he will not be able to leave for London. All parties are trying to find a last-ditch solution. What is going on here? That's a different conversation, and that's a far fairer point, and that's probably one that I would agree with. But that's a genuine conversation point, and something that is something something that I'd agree with. But yeah, this is where we are. Apparently, according to this guy, Osimhen's not happy with Napoli, and he doesn't think he's going to have time to go to London and get this move to Chelsea. We don't know what's going on here, guys. One minute it's like, oh, he's coming. The next minute it's not. He's going to Al Ahly. Then he might stay at Napoli. Still trying to find solutions. Does anyone really know what's going on with Victor Osimhen other than his team and himself and maybe Napoli? Does anyone actually know? Because all we're getting here is multiple mixed reports and then multiple recycled information. How many times I've seen today on the timeline? How many times on a timeline I've seen today of Chelsea are still working on Osimhen? They want him to fit in the wage structure. I've seen that rewritten so many times. I must have seen that update over 10 times today that is the situation. I mean, if this is true, then we could be in a situation where we just run out of time, and maybe we end up with no one. I don't know if that's right. I mean, you could maybe look back at it now and think, should we have given them Lukaku before we'd agreed the Osimhen deal? Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we should have agreed to sign Osimhen first and then given them Lukaku. Maybe giving them Lukaku is now like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. I wish we hadn't done that. Maybe it would have been a better thing to do to hold off on the Lukaku deal until we'd got Osimhen. I don't know, but yeah, it's not ideal. That if that is true, and I don't know how credible this guy is. So yeah, I don't know how credible it is, but this information is obviously coming from somewhere. L'Equipe's a very respectable outlet in France, and it wouldn't surprise me at all with the way that Napoli move with De Laurentiis. Osimhen's supposedly now thinks that he's not going to leave for London, and he's very angry with Napoli. We're trying to find a last-ditch solution. Like, what is there to find last-ditch solution? What sort of last-ditch solution are we looking for here? Obviously, Osimhen's not changing his demands. Have Napoli moved the goalposts in terms of the fee they're looking for? Have they reneged on a potential, agreement that they may have had with Osimhen? I don't know what's going on here. I'm really very, very unsure on the scenario. Guys, we're still not at 200 likes. We're now 19 away. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Run it up. We need to get to the 200 likes, people. There's 254 in the building. Let's keep it moving. It's free. And it takes seconds to do. So yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, people, make sure you run it up. Make sure you run those likes up. And we will see what's going to happen here. The rumor was Osimhen was offered around 700k a week. I don't think that's true about $1 million a week. No, I've not seen that anywhere. I'm pretty certain that's untrue. Osimhen was offered about 600k a week. I don't think there's anything about him wanting $1 million. What do you believe now? And I don't know. Maybe something in the middle. All I know is that it's still not done, and that's ultimately that's the only thing that matters. Is it's still not done, and we're still waiting for a decision. Anything else, whether he's angry or what's going on, is almost irrelevant at this point. Is what I would say. Almost irrelevant at this point. So we're going to wait and see. Napoli obviously want their money. Maybe they did try, and Jackson does well on week and is horrendous the next. That's why you can't rely on him as a main 9. I hear you. I hear you. They tried to change his maybe. I mean, we haven't even got to a situation where we've even discussed the price of Napoli. We've not reached that situation to discuss the price of Napoli because we've not got the green light from Osimhen. We're not going to enter into conversations with Napoli over agreeing a fee and whatnot until we've got the buy-in from the player that he's happy to accept the terms. Yeah, there's another one, a Belgian journalist this time, same sort of thing coming out. Let me bring this up. Victor Osimhen has one and only one favourite choice since this month. We just repeated here. Currently, he wants to play for Chelsea, but nothing's done yet. Now, Chelsean player to make Napoli. I don't understand that. Fallen down and accept his departure. Big fight ongoing. So it looks like now that maybe Napoli are playing hard to get. Maybe Napoli have changed their demands. Maybe Napoli are digging their heels in. Maybe Napoli are being difficult. That equally wouldn't surprise me either if they were being difficult people. You can't rule that out. You wouldn't rule it out, would you? Napoli and them man being very, very difficult. I would love to be in Naples right now with all this that's going on. With all this that's going on, I mean, Napoli are the problem. Napoli are like that final boss, aren't they? They're like the final boss. We just can't seem to get past them right now. And the fact that we gave them Lukaku beforehand is very irritating. Very, very irritating. But you know what? It is what it is right now. It is what it is. Maybe Osimhen's just needs to turn up. Maybe it's time for him to do a Peter Odemwingie, turn up in the car park at Stamford Bridge or wherever the Chelsea offices are, and I've lost something. Turn up in his car and outside the ground, and maybe that's the way that things need to go now. No, I know that Al Hilal tried to get him last summer. I don't know what the finances of the deal were, but all the reports are saying, by the way, that Osimhen had agreed to Al Ali's terms. He had agreed to the terms. Obviously, maybe he's having a second thought now. Napoli seem like a very annoying club to sign a deal with. Yep, you can absolutely you can absolutely say that. You can absolutely say it. No doubt about it. Can we never deal with Napoli again? If we get Osimhen done, they are like Brighton. Yeah, I hear you. They obviously don't know what's happened to Rui Costa. Bro, I wonder. I think Egbali might already be there. There's every chance that Egbali could already be there. There was a delegation that were in Switzerland last night. Switzerland, obviously, very close to Italy as well, by the way. Guys, we're still 9 likes away from the 200 likes target. So can we just run it up, people? Can we run it up? Run it up. 9 more likes, guys, and keep subscribing as well. If you're new around here, we're still 231 people in the building. Big up to every single person that is still locked in, guys. But let's get these final 8 likes on the board. No. Chelsea should not be giving in to Osimhen's demands. They absolutely shouldn't be. They should not be giving in to the demands, and it's as simple as that. They should not be giving in to the demands. Stick to your guns, and stick to your guns, and that's what we should be doing. That's what we should absolutely be doing, is sticking to our guns on this one. So And it looks like that is what we're doing. And we're just going to have to wait and wait and wait. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do is wait and see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, to be perfectly honest. At this point, 1 minute it looks like he's definitely not coming. The next minute you feel more confident, and then you see these things and you think, okay, is it? Maybe it's not going to happen. Is it? Won't it? Luckily, we're going to find out soon. Luckily, we are going to find out soon. But again, this does feel very similar, sort of to the Enzo Fernandez situation that we had. It does feel similar to that. But we're just ultimately, the latest with Osimhen is that we're just waiting for his decision on whether he's going to accept Chelsea's terms, and then Chelsea can enter into conversations with Napoli. That's what we're waiting for, guys. But whether we're gonna when we're gonna get that answer is anyone's guess. But I would have thought in the next 2 hours, guys, I would have thought that there would be some sort of answer, because once you get to sort of like 7 o'clock, you're then in a situation where you're like, right, okay, 7 o'clock, you've got 4 hours left. If there's no answer by then, you're gonna feel pretty concerned. You are gonna feel pretty concerned. There's got. I honestly think if it gets to 4 hours left in the window and we still don't have an answer, the clock is massively ticking there. Yeah, but I'm working tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, unfortunately. But I could obviously do I can do a quick upload for sure. I can do a quick upload. Chelsea sent an official bid to Napoli earlier, alone with an obligation to buy next. They didn't send an official bid. They said they are prepared to do so. They are prepared to do an official bid. But it's not gone in yet. Do I think Osimhen will happen? I'd love to say yes, but the longer it's going on, I'm sort of thinking like, maybe it's not. There's now less than 6 hours in the window left. I've kind of thought at some points oh, it's absolutely over. Other points I thought, yeah, there's a good chance it's happening. Now I don't really know. Now I don't really know what to think, to be honest. And now I don't really know what to think. And that's problematic, isn't it? That is problematic. You just don't know what to think. Maybe it's not happening. Maybe it's not happening, guys. That would be a big shame. It would be a big shame because we've seemingly wasted so much time on it. But that's sort of where we appear to be at right now. That's where we appear to be at right now. I'm just really, really unsure. But yeah, Osimhen, Napoli, and Chelsea, big fight going on. Big fight going on. We should probably just all scrap it out. We should probably just scrap it out. I mean, Osimhen roulette basically is where we're at right now. Osimhen roulette. I mean, take your pick. Could be 10:59. Here we go. But there needs to be an agreement before 11 o'clock, guys. And so far, an agreement is not looking. It's not looking close, people. It's not looking close. We need to push forwards. We need to keep this momentum going. But yeah, the deadline day show, people. I don't know what else is going to happen. I think it's literally going to be we get Osimhen or we don't, and there'll be a Sancho deal. I think that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for now. That for me is all we're waiting for. You absolutely can draw comparisons with the Enzo Fernandez situation, sure. Conference League draw. I didn't watch it, but I've seen it. Yeah, there's a load of random teams in there that obviously none of us have really heard of. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is, guys. Load of random teams in there. But it's all good. It's all good. away trips to what? Kazakhstan, Greece, and Germany. And then we're playing Ghent, a team called Noah, and another team, which I can't remember now. Ghent, Noah, and Shamrock Rovers at Stamford Bridge. Great to be back amongst it with Europe's elite, guys. Great to be back amongst it with Europe's elite. That's what we're all here for. That's what we want. In terms of outgoings, though, people, there's not very much to say. Broja to Ipswich might be back on. That's Leicester are also reportedly interested. That looks like it could go to the wire. What else are we looking at? Ben Chilwell, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Chalobah, seemingly nothing. And then we're looking at... Then what else are we looking at? Not much. Not much. That's basically it. There were reports of David Washington being sold to Strasbourg, but now apparently they've been turned down. United have potentially looked at Sterling. There's conversations of taking place over a swap deal, but it looks like Sancho is going to be a separate deal. So yeah, I mean, I was being sarcastic, by the way. If anyone thinks I was being serious about being back amongst Europe's elite, very much has misunderstood the sarcasm there. Outgoings, Chukwuemeka, there were links with a loan move to West Ham. There's been nothing on that really. Described as difficult. Looks like Washington's not happening. I don't know what other outgoings we're going to get done. There might not be any. I really don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? It is a strange one, but I'm just... I mean, it's strange, isn't it? Like Napoli have now sort of found their sort of big dog energy, haven't they? Where was that energy last week? They're upset now because they think they're not going to be able to sell Osimhen this window, and so someone needs to back down. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else is happening. I don't know what's going to happen, but outgoings is a concern, people. It really is, and I can't see that many more players moving on. I can't see that many more players moving on right now in terms of outgoings. It's really going to be an interesting one. We've got to get a move on with these outgoings. We simply have to. Because we're going to be in a situation now where we're just going to be stuck with a load of players that we don't want. We've made it clear that we don't want them at the club, and we're going to be spending millions a week in wages paying these guys to play with the under 21s. So that's where we're at, guys. That is where we are at. Yeah, brother, we're not going to get one. We're not getting one. Certainly not this window. That absolutely is not happening this window. I agree. I would have liked a centre back, but we're just not getting it. We're just not getting it. More Osimhen news. From Fabrice Hawkins. Chelsea's latest offer to Victor Osimhen, €155,000 a week, rejected by the player. Chelsea delegation is in Napoli as reported, still trying to convince him. If no agreement is made, he will stay in Italy. So Chelsea's latest Victor Osimhen offer is €155,000, according to Fabrice Hawkins. According to Fabrice Hawkins, that is Chelsea's latest offer for Osimhen, and that's clearly not enough in his situation. Clearly not enough on his terms. So, according to him, Chelsea have offered 155,000 euros for a week for Victor Osimhen. That's not enough. Not enough. I think that's quite fair. 155,000 euros. Still, what's that? About what? 140, 145k a week. He's not going to accept that. He's not going to accept that. I don't know how much higher Chelsea are going to go. They're obviously still trying. They're obviously not prepared to go above this deal. That's why they're still trying to convince him. They're not prepared to go above that, seemingly. So they're still trying to convince him to join. No, we absolutely didn't. We absolutely didn't offer that much money. It does seem a little bit on the low side. I wasn't expecting it to be that low. If I'm being totally honest, I really wasn't expecting it to be that low. But yeah, that's where we're at, guys. That is where we're at. I don't know what his weight. I think he's on maybe 295,000 euros a week at Napoli. In and around the 300,000 euro mark. It's under that, but it's not far away. Yeah, bro, I think Tony's totally off the table now. I mean, never say never, but it definitely looks like the Tony deal is off the table. It feels like that's off the table. But it's 155k base, and then obviously the incentives. There's obviously opportunities to probably earn a lot more than 200 grand a week. They should pretend Osimhen is some unknown English super talent. That way they might. Yeah, no, we're not paying anyone 250k a week. I'm not sure about Osimhen. He won't enjoy the time he gets in Italy in the Prem. Could be another Lukaku. Tony's not going to happen. But yeah, obviously that's Chelsea's latest offer, and that looks like it's the only offer there's going to be, and it's not. It's not great. It's not great at all. That works out 130 grand a week. 130 grand a week. That's what that works out as. Surely, I mean, maybe that's an old offer. I don't know. I don't know at all. But surely at this late stage, right, we're still not offering. I don't know what he would take. I honestly don't know. But it's probably going to need to be at least 200,000 euros a week. But 130k a week base is obviously not cutting it. Surely at this late stage of proceedings, we can't be offering that little. Surely we can't be offering that little at this late stage in proceedings. Or maybe we are. Maybe we are. I mean, that just that just can't be right. Just can't be right. Surely. I mean, it's a long way. Look. We know that we're not going to match what he earns at Napoli, but that is significantly less. Significantly less. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy, that, isn't it? Kind of crazy. It's significantly less. Surely that's not true? It can't be. We're not going to be that derisory, are we? Or maybe we are. 130k a week is crazy, but that's the wage structure. That is the wage structure. So you buy into it or you don't. That's the solution, people. You buy into this. You buy into the wage structure or you don't. But I think 130k a week, I've got to be honest, that's a little bit. That is taking the piss. Yeah, I think Tony's done. Feels like the Enzo deal right until the last minute. I think it will go to the last minute, this deal. I think it absolutely will. Guys, keep smashing that like button. By the way, we're on 212 right now. Let's get this up to 220 likes. Would greatly appreciate that. Would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, let's run it up and get this to 220 likes, people. Could be. But again, you know, it would be heavily incentivized. But yeah, I do hear people on it. That's Yeah, it's a crazy one still, isn't it? It's a crazy one. Surely we're not offering that little. Surely. Update from Simon Johnson at The Athletic. Doesn't sound like Raheem Sterling is going anywhere at this rate. Fantastic news. Great. Really pleased to hear that. So annoying. What else have we got going on here? Yeah, Sterling's going to end up staying. That's so peak. But yeah, if that offer's true, which is obviously that information's come from somewhere, it's it's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. You've got to be offering a bit more than that. But this is the wage structure, and that's the offer, and that's where we are. Well, mate, it's going to be Osimhen or no one, people. That's what we need to realise. It is Osimhen or no one. But those are the facts. That's where we're at, people. Yeah. We've got all the eggs are in the Osimhen basket, people. Yeah, of course, but that's something that absolutely is not happening. Absolutely isn't happening. So, yeah, but I would be reasonably happy. But Al Ahly are close to completing the Ivan Toney deal. Nearly done, very close. So yeah, I mean, surely that means one thing. You would think that means one thing, but ultimately, if Chelsea and Napoli is literally for Osimhen now, it's Chelsea or you stay at Napoli. But those are the two options, and the clock is very much ticking, very much ticking. Well, this is a structure. I mean, look, I'd like to say that I'd like to disbelieve this information, but I suspect that's probably the sort of offer that they have put on the table. That is a sort of offer that I think they've put on the table, which, yeah, isn't ideal. Isn't ideal whatsoever. Isn't ideal at all, but you know, maybe we do a last minute offer. Maybe we do a last minute offer. I don't know. I really don't know. Chelsea are really getting their pants pulled down. No, mate, we're not. We've stuck to our guns here ultimately. If he stays in Napoli, they might play 4-4-2. They might play 4-4-2. Osimhen, Lukaku front two. Well, if he ends up staying, it's just been a complete waste of time all round for everyone. If that's the case, it's just been a complete waste of time all round for everyone. Honestly, I'm more interested in the outgoings. I hope we get some deals done. Bro, I don't think we're going to get any of those deals done. Bro is the most likely out of them. Sterling, I don't think it's going anywhere. And I think it's too late in the day for Axel Disasi as well. So, yeah, not an ideal situation. Yeah, if that's the latest offer, I mean, if that had been a first offer, a few weeks ago, fair enough. But if that's your offer on the table now and the deadline's in what, 5 hours and 40 minutes, then yeah, that's not the one at all. That's not the one at all. Really isn't. Really isn't. I mean, if that is our offer, then let's just not waste our time. Let's just not waste our time anymore. Just shut the thing down, walk away. Yeah, Sterling's expected to say. I would have to lean. I would have to lean more towards this not happening than happening. But this obviously situation's fluid, can change very very quickly from minute to minute. So, but right now, as I'm sitting here, I'd have to say I feel like this is a little bit unlikely at this point in time. But again, can change very quickly. Can change very quickly, and that's what we're looking at, guys. That is what we're looking at. It's going to change very, very quickly. And all we can do is hope for the best. All we can do is hope for the best. But yeah, I'm not overly confident that we're going to get that many outgoings done. And I'm not overly confident that we're going to get that many incomings. I think we'll get Sancho. But the Osimhen one, really up in the air. Really up in the air. Could literally go either way. I wouldn't like to say. I would not like to say at all on what I think is going to happen there. But unless there's any last minute news, I am going to round this one out here. I've got work in a couple of hours. If there's anything major in the next hour and a half that happens, I'll be back. If not, guys, it will be an upload tonight. It will be an upload with news. Because I won't be able to go live because I'll be working, but there will be an upload if anything major happens after 7:30. If something happens before 7:30, ideally something needs to happen before 7 o'clock. If something happens before 7, I will be back. If not, guys, I will catch you in an upload, and I'll be back tomorrow chatting about the transfer window and looking forward to the Crystal Palace game. So you can definitely look ahead to that and join me live then for sure. But guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Greatly appreciate it. As always, love for all the support. Thank you so much for all the support throughout the whole summer on the transfer window. It's been greatly appreciated. Disappointed I can't be live tonight, but work calls, and you've got to secure the bag as everyone knows. So yeah. Guys, thanks for your support as always. Love for tuning in. I'll be back with an upload for any major news if it happens later on tonight. If it happens in the next couple of hours, as I said, I'll be back with a quick live. We'll jump on and we'll discuss things. If not, guys, I'll catch you lot again tomorrow afternoon. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully, maybe Jadon Sancho is going to come. Maybe Raheem Sterling's going to go. Who knows? Maybe Victor Osimhen's going to finally make up his mind. We're going to find out, and we're going to find out in the next few hours. But guys, love for the support. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's hope for the best. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.